All right, hey gang. I'll tell you what. As I glance outside, that snow couldn't have come in at a more perfect time for you guys. I'll tell you what. I think yesterday weather looked fine, roads were good, and so a little surprising we didn't go then. But this morning when I came into school about 5:45 this morning, roads were kind of slick. I'll be honest. The S curve in Benton Ridge. Wow. I had to slow down more than I anticipated to get around that S curve. So I didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't know if we were going to have school or not. And then all of a sudden, I get up here and then I hear 2 hour delay. And then I start to watch the big snowflakes come. And then we get canceled. So here we are. So here's some thoughts. I had some of you say yesterday that you weren't able to do the shading portion of the assignment because you didn't have a printer, which is completely fine. Okay, so let me go walk you through a couple of things here, kind of get you going with what I want you to check over and see, and then I'll explain what I want to have you do for your homework tonight. So here's what it is. In going back to what we did for yesterday, let me actually get myself off here. Okay, maybe click on that a little better. Boom, that looks good. Okay. In a moment, I am actually going to post the answers to this in Schoology. So I want you to look over the answers here and be able to make sure that you are good with 6.1 to 6.4. Okay, if there's any part of it that you don't understand, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to be checking my email sporadically throughout the day. On the back side, like I said, some of you said you couldn't do the shading down here, okay, because you didn't have the printer. Completely understand. Don't worry about that. But what I would do in the meantime is I would go ahead and answer each one of these. Make sure you fill it out. Make sure you use the appropriate method to figure out both X and Y so that when you get back to school, I'll give you this worksheet and you can go ahead and fill in the shading and we'll just call it a day. You'll have that completed then, okay? So I hope that makes sense to you. The answers, again, to the front side will be on Schoology here shortly. And then on the back side, I'm just going to have you guys, like I said, I would work through all of those problems there, and then the shading portion when we get back to school, okay? So don't worry about that. For tonight, what I'm having you guys do is this Chapter 6 mid-chapter check. Now, what I would like to treat it as is a take-home quiz. Okay, so you can use any type of resource that you have at home. Okay, you can use Desmos, you can use your notes. Okay, but I want you to work through this now. In remembering back to previous years when kids have done this, the ones that have struggled are the ones that didn't read things carefully. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of things just to make sure we're clear on what needs to be done. So for numbers 1 and 2 right here, you're going to use this graph over here, okay? We did a problem like this at the very beginning in 6.1, and you're going to tell me which one of these answers is going to be the answer. Is it going to be no solution, one solution, infinite solutions, or can't be determined, okay? Here's a hint. It's not going to be can't be determined. Okay. I will tell you this, there's no need to actually go ahead and use a method to solve these because the graph is already out over here. Okay, so use this graph over here to try and figure out what the answers will be. This will be one answer and this will be a separate answer. Okay, these are two separate problems. As I look at number 3, I want to pay a close attention to the directions here. The solution to which system of equations has a positive y value. Okay. And so as you look down through these here, as I look at them, you might want to use your elimination method for each of those. It looks like you could probably do that pretty easily on all those. But you want to show your work, and you want to show which one has the positive y value. So make sure you do that, okay? As I look at number 4 down here, it's talking about using the substitution method. So obviously, on all of these problems, please, please, please use Desmos to double check your work, okay? But when I say the substitution method, you want to show that out, then use Desmos to make sure you've done it correctly, okay? As I look at the next page here, for number 5, it says use the elimination method, okay? So you're going to use the elimination method. Again, you can use your notes if you have questions with that. For the next one, okay, For number 6 here, it says how many solutions does the system have? You can use the substitution, the elimination, or you could use Desmos there. Okay, but don't forget this right here. Explain why you are telling me it has no solution, or it has one solution, or it has infinite many solutions. Okay, make sure you explain that. Okay. Number 7, graph the systems of equations and determine whether it has no, one, or infinite many solutions. If the system has one solution, name it. Okay, make sure you name it after you get done with that. And so I glancing at that, I know right away what method I would probably use to figure out what x and y are going to be. Okay, but again, don't forget to graph it. Okay, it says graph the systems of equations. So even though I have the method in my mind, what I would use to solve for both x and y, over here I have to graph those two out. So you're going to have to solve for y in both of these equations. And I would, again, double check the graph, double check your work in Desmos there. Okay. Number 8 talks about using the substitution method. So you're going to have to solve for either x or y and then substitute it into the other equation. Okay. Number 9 says use the elimination. 9 and 10, you're using the elimination methods for those two. And then number 11, oh, the glorious, you actually didn't think I would let you get away without doing a story problem, did you? So hopefully we've done enough story problems here. You can try and figure that one out. Okay, about the WNBA. So that is what I want you to do for tonight. Let's just quickly review. 1, you're going to go ahead and you're going to check your answers from last night's work. Okay. If you didn't finish everything from last night, make sure you do that for me. The shading, like I said, is not a big deal. Don't worry about the shading. We'll get that done when we come back to school if you need to. 2, you're going to work on this take-home quiz. You may use any notes that you have. You may use Desmos. You may use the substitution elimination methods. But again, the big thing is follow the rules. Follow the directions for each of the problems. Okay? That's all I have for you. Thank you for listening. And we will see you tomorrow? Maybe? Have a good one, guys. Bye.